Hey. Welcome back to a special Girl Chat Sports on Thursday with a special co-host, Miss Ballin D. Thank you for filling the shoes of Mo tonight. We appreciate you, and we appreciate anyone that's tuning in tonight. It's Thursday. I know it's not the usual Wednesday, but hey, we all were at the Aces game last night, catching that great game one. So please welcome Miss Ballin D.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming on. So, if you guys don't know, which I'm sure you do, but where me and Mo used to record at Girl Lacrosse is where you can find Miss Ballin D and the No Plays Off Sports Talk podcast every Wednesday, right before our show at 6 to 7 p.m. So, you can find them on Facebook, the Girl Lacrosse app, and all throughout social media, No Plays Off Sports. So, make sure to follow. Like I mentioned earlier in the beginning, this is going to be solely based mainly on the WNBA and our aces. So if you're looking for those hot topics this week, we've already brought up Deshaun in some group posts. Make sure you get into the this Girl Chat Sports group as well as No Plays Off Sports group as well on Facebook. Join the commentary, see the news, see what's going on outside of the WNBA. But tonight, this is what it's all about. So, Ms. Bondi, we'll just start off. So, first of all, if you live under a rock in Las Vegas or anywhere in the country, and you're one of those, I don't follow the WNBA, playoffs have started as officially as yesterday. This is what the bracket looks like. Unlike last year, the first and second seeds do not get buys, which I kind of was wondering I knew the game was yesterday, but I'm like, dang, we have first seed. Like, why aren't we, why are you playing? So first and second seeds don't get buys. It's the first round of 3, best of 3, semifinals, best of 5, finals, best of 5. So
I like the
that
new
being,
format. I
I
like the
do.
one game single elimination. That was tough.
Yeah, that was real tough. And I don't think it was really fair too when it comes to the games. And like we saw yesterday, we can talk about a little bit of it, is that Sky versus the Liberty game. I
Yes.
mean, if that would have been a one game elimination, those Sky
Yeah.
would be out. Like your number 2 seed in the WNBA would be officially out if it had been one game in elimination. So
It's funny that you mentioned that game because I was talking with a couple friends of mine. I'm like, that's the trap game. Don't sleep on Liberty.
do not sleep on Ionescu, man. She
Yes.
is
Yes.
she is Kobe life for real. Like that's
Yeah.
she has Kobe mentality written all over her. Listen, the Liberty were down by 6 with 3 minutes and 30
Yes.
seconds. Yeah, it's not a lot, but they went on a 13-0 run.
13. Yes. Yeah. That
The the
Chicago missed
Sky
something
didn't
like
the
their
Sky didn't
10 of
score
their
for the
11
rest of the
shots. Yeah.
game
That's huge, man. And
at
Natasha
home.
Howard, she whenever those two are rolling, they do great. Bethany Laney as well, when she gets hot
Yeah.
and rolling, that New York team is scary.
It's crazy because Natasha Howard obviously played for the Seattle Storm last year. She
Right.
got traded. She clearly has bumped up Liberty's stock. I mean, both her and Ionescu had 22 points last night. It was ridiculous. And most of those points came into that last fourth quarter in those 3 minutes for both of them.
Yeah.
The team is good. I mean, I think they're kind of like that sleeper right there. Like, here's the deal with this new this 3-game first round. So of course the home team, the top seed, gets advantage. They get 2 games at home. That's like our Aces played last night. They'll play again here on Saturday. But that third game is in the lower seed. So it's the away game. But for teams like now for the Liberty, now they're going to be playing to win at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless
That's
they even win it,
huge.
unless they win it on Saturday in Chicago, I don't know. But worst case scenario is they're playing to win at home for a game 3, which kind of like is an interesting little twist to the
Of
playoff
course.
structure, I think. I,
And I thought
I
it was
mean,
necessary. New York had to steal a game in Chicago if they wanted a chance to win the series, and they did that.
man, I was watching. I didn't get to catch the game. Obviously, we're kind of making our ways to the Aces game. But when I was watching the highlights, those last 3 minutes, everybody looked like they were pooped. Like everybody looked worn down. It looked like it had been a hard, tough game. I mean, Ionescu shot a jumper, and I think her feet literally got maybe 2 inches off the ground. Like you could tell people were still struggling. But
Yeah.
that game, I mean. I wish I'd have
Yeah.
been there for that one. That was a
That would
good
have been
game.
exciting.
That was an
That would
exciting
have been exciting.
game.
But it was exciting last night at the house at our Aces game.
Man, listen, it was, first of all, let me just say it. So I thought there was, I almost felt like there was more fans there than the previous where we had the 10,000. They said it was 8,725, and it was never announced, but I kind of researched a little bit. I feel like there was the same, if not more, but I could, maybe it was just all the white towels
I think it was
flying
the lights and
around,
the
the
yeah,
light.
yeah. I think that was
Yeah,
pretty
they
cool.
had
The
the
lights
lights
was
going. It was
dope.
nice.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Synchronized. I wanted to show one video real quick because during halftime, so me and Mo have been kind of on this thing about the new buckets, because it's clear that buckets changed from the last couple of seasons to this season. He's got
Yes.
some inches on him. He's got a little sweat, or I'll say he or she got a little sweat. They got a little extra motion, and they're doing some things. But apparently Buckets is a DJ as well. Whether he is in real life or she is in real life, we should not know. But this is part of the halftime show. Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty intense. I mean, that was
It was.
it was amazing. I'm just happy to have been there and be part of it, and to be able to see that kind of thing is just, I don't know, it's great. So game one happened. Per usual, here's the deal: the Mercury have already had the most incredible tough season that we know
To
coming
say
into it.
the
We've got
least.
our former assistant coach, Vanessa Nygaard, is head coaching. Our previous guest of ours is assistant Crystal Robbins is an assistant coach. We got to say hi to her real quick before the game. Shout out to Crystal. We've got the Brittany Griner situation. We've already seen the scuffle. We both saw that scuffle kind of between
Yes.
Diana and Skylar on the bench way back earlier in the season. Now you've got Diana Taurasi and Skylar Diggins both out for an undisclosed amount of time. We're not sure if either will come back in the playoffs, when in the playoffs, we're not sure. I don't know. Have you heard anything as far as that? Diana was there yesterday, but Skylar's not there. And so,
yeah, I don't know if Diana's gonna. At this point, I'm not really sure if it would be even worth bringing Diana back. I can't see Skylar coming back. We don't know, whatever her personal reasons are. But I mean, if I was Taurasi, I know she wants to be there with the team, but as far as from a healthy standpoint, don't try to force it. I mean, they're short. If Shea Petty, is out, and
yeah.
hopefully she's not real injured. That was kind of ugly. I didn't even really see what happened, but if
I don't
she's
even,
out
when
as
I
well, they're
saw a
down another
replay of
player.
it, I don't even think she hit anybody. I think she was just walking, or she had just moved, and that's when people were assuming it might have been an ACL tear or something. The way she
Ooh.
had just stopped after moving, she didn't really touch anyone. That was the thing, is that it just kind of.
I
So
initially
yeah,
thought maybe she had passed out because when she just hit the ground and they started,
well, and the way they were covering her with
with the
towels,
towels.
I was like, is
Yeah.
something really, like, something major
Medically.
must have happened. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
prayers
don't
up to
know.
her, man. They were talking about her last night in the press conference, and they asked Coach Becky Hammond, how is that? And Becky Hammond says, in moments like that, it's bigger than basketball. That injury is
Yeah.
so unfortunate for Jay Petty, and her heart was really, she was really pouring her heart out. You can hear the emotions in Becky Hammond in regards to talking to everything that the Mercury have been through this season. They've been dealt a very hard blow this season, but they're fighting with it, and
Yeah, they
they're
are.
they're fighting. We got to respect that for sure. You can't, on paper it looks like the Aces should have blown the Mercury
And
out, but they were right there.
listen, the spread was 16 and a half. I told Mo from the get-go, I was like, there's no way they're covering that. There's no way. There's no way. And they came close, but there was no way they were getting to 16 and a half. And I think maybe for next game it's a possibility. But last game, the way that Diamond DeShields has been playing the last couple of games, as well as Petty, and then Sophie Cunningham. Listen, we had a discussion about Sophie because
So
I
Sophie rubs me. It's a bittersweet
rubs
moment
me
for
the
me and Sophie.
wrong way.
Me too. She's very competitive, and you have to respect the competitor
Yes.
spirit. But yesterday, when the the commotion was going on between Chelsea Gray and Megan Gupperson, she was like getting the team all round up. She's kind of toxic. Like she always wants to smoke. She's like the savage player for the
Yes.
Mercury.
Yes. She is. And we also, and Mo brought this up, is that, having Diana there on the bench, she's like the mama pit bull. And Sophie was like, you saw her coming back after getting that big foul off Kelsey, I think it was, and coming back and like looking at her. And, Diana comes up to her and was like, facts, kiddo, facts. And was like, I'm just like,
she was egging it on as well.
Sophie was taking on the role of the aggressor, the attack dog, coming to get you, no holds bar. She really went at him. And I mean, to her credit, she's a great athlete, and she really she was all over these girls, and there were some terrible fouls that were and were not called last night.
Absolutely. It got very physical.
Very physical, fast. I mean, it was a close game. Like you're talking like maybe a couple points differential every quarter. The third quarter, both teams only scored 9 points.
That was rough.
I mean, I know I came back late from halftime. I went to go visit a friend that was at the game, and I'm just like, wait, we only scored 9. They only scored 9. Hang on a second.
Yeah. It was rough. I mean, the Aces just really couldn't hit anything. It was a rough shooting night for A'ja Wilson. She finally hit a field goal, and I think midway through the third quarter, and you can just tell when she hit it running back down the court, she was just like, finally, the expression on her face, because she was having a rough shooting night, but she was doing so many other things on the defensive end.
Well, I think she had like 12 or 13 rebounds. But the thing is that I think that the Mercury came into the game plan. We are going to take everybody off the court onto like they were double teaming her, triple teaming her.
Yes.
Like she wasn't able to even get shots off at times because of the coverage that Mercury had on her. So shout out to the Mercury for, having that game plan, because it definitely affected A'ja Wilson's play. And hopefully, Coach Becky Hammond's working with that and trying to figure some other, I'm sure she's got some things up her sleeve for Saturday in case that should take place again. But I mean, when you've got Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum coming out the woodwork with just, major plays, those ladies, I mean,
not to talk about that either, though. Like, of course, our depth of our bench has been a huge discussion. Of course, Phoenix, they did outscore our bench, but the play of Kia Stokes and how she's the last couple games. I mean, she's been shooting jumpers. She's been
from being a starter and getting these boards. She had like 14 or 15 boards, like something crazy high. Like it was just
some very good blocks. I mean, game-changing blocks down the stretch too. I mean, a lot of times she doesn't do a lot of things to show up in the stat sheets, but her presence, she's long. Ileana Rupert, she's becoming one of my favorites. She stretches the offense so much.
Yes, she is. She really does. And she holds it, and she holds her own too very well. I was, here's the deal. For our Aces games, we get kind of nervous in that first or second quarter. We get nervous a little bit in the third quarter. I know that the fourth quarter, we seem to always perform, but it's always like hit or miss. Like, are we going to play good first and then second and third not so? Are we playing not so good first, maybe second and third we are? So last night was a little bit of a nail biter, because we should have been, when you looked at the score in the third quarter, I was like, why are we not blowing these guys out?
I think they were only up by like 7 or 9 going into the fourth quarter.
I was just like, there's no way. And then it's tough. I don't necessarily foresee a game 3 happening here. So I think it's safe to say we probably won't see Miss Taurasi. She'll probably be on the bench. I did want to show a little video. So if you got kids around, just throw little earmuffs on them in case you can hear, or in case you can read mouse, because Miss Taurasi had a few words for the fans. She cussing out fans.
Wow. It was kind of funny when they were doing the Aces intro and the crowd was going crazy. I got her on video. She was just standing there, and if she was like taking it all, I kind of thought she was like taking it all in, like this is cool. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh, she's hot. She's smoking.
Yeah. She's mad. And then it wasn't until that I went and saw her hug Kelsey at the end of the game that I saw like normalcy in her. Like she took her game time hat off and was like, okay, cool, I'll go say what's up to the girl, But up until then, she was like, during every timeout, she's like talking smack with the coaching staff and trying to like get the girls fired up to like attack our girls. It was just like, I mean, she's definitely motivated. I'm sure they're glad to still have her on their bench. It's just
it was
hey, what's
intense.
up?
It was very intense.
Shout out to Donnell Goose. What's up? Let the ball bounce. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah,
What's
Chelsea
up, Goose?
definitely a
Oh yeah,
mother
Chelsea great.
problem.
I don't. She before the All-Star break, she took some mental time away. I think she missed a game or so for personal reasons. I think one of her family members has passed away. But since the
Yeah,
All-Star break, she has been on an absolute tear. The game before, she had a career high 33 points, but you
33.
can just
Yeah.
tell she's on a whole nother mindset. When she gets down to that 15, 20 foot, oh, you can forget about it. You can forget
It's
it.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah. And
She'd
not
be
only that, the chip she's
all
having on her
in.
shoulder, of course, she wasn't selected as an all-star. So I'm sure she's still playing with that on her mind as well.
Not selected as an all-star, and we can discuss later on in regards to the Associated Press Awards that went down, not in first or second team, all in WNBA, and her and Jackie, actually. So granted, it's only 10 spots. You got 2 teams. There's no third team here like the NBA. So it's like first and second team, but it's still like, come on, these ladies are rocking right now.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can't help but just to just be like, wait a minute. So currently, so our Aces come back on Saturday. They're a 6 p.m. game. I'm not sure if they're giving out any more free tickets or not. Have you heard anything? I don't think I've heard anything.
I didn't see any free tickets, but I know they're doing a buy one get one free. That's the latest promotion that I've seen that they were doing, buy one get one free. And I guess there's another concert at Allegiant Stadium Saturday, so they're encouraging everyone to arrive early. I guess the weekend is performing at Allegiant Stadium, so
Oh my
the back road is
gosh.
going to be a mess. So Sunday, it was horrible trying to get to
Sunday
Mandalay Bay. I was like, "Are you
was.
kidding me?" It took me an hour to get just into the parking lot.
Yeah, well, my girlfriend Natalie, shout out to Natalie, she comes from like the Russell or like the Durango 215 area on the west southwest side.
Off of Russell.
And yeah, and she took down Russell, I think, and that took her an extra 30 minutes. I mean, I left 10 minutes after her, and I'm in Summerlin, and I got in before she did because just all the traffic around Allegiant. I opted to not go northbound on Dean Martin and opted to go southbound on Dean Martin, which is a little bit of a help for me because I think that everybody gets off the freeway and just automatically goes down Dean Martin, and then that whole thing piled up all the way back to the freeway exit.
They had no crowd control right there off of Russell. I mean, it took forever just to I do the convention parking, and it would took forever just to get into the Mandalay Bay parking structure off of Russell. You got people coming from the freeway, you got people coming from Las Vegas Boulevard, you got the fans coming from walking across the bridge to go to Allegiant. I'm
And
like,
to
are
be
you
honest,
kidding
there
me?
probably might be more people for the weekend concert because it was a preseason Raider game. Not to say that it wasn't packed, but I know it probably wasn't sold out. And I can only imagine. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's gonna be another mess.
Oh,
So
dang.
certainly arrive early on Sunday. But
Arrive
just shout out to
early.
the Bulldogs, man. They've been
Hell
giving away a
yeah.
lot of free tickets. So kudos going out
Yes.
to the Bulldogs.
Yes.
They always look out for the community in regards to
They
giving away free
definitely
tickets.
do. And for those that, if they ever do those distributions again, make sure that you go a little early because they do have a line to pick up your ticket prior to the game. So it's not like you can just get to the game and go in. I know there was a couple of people we knew that were like, this line though? I guess
Yeah,
it
it was
moved
long.
fast, so hopefully it worked, but it is a long line. So definitely just come early. If you're coming to an Aces game, just come early, hang out. You can eat, you can, do whatever, watch the girls practice, but just get there early and be prepared. So
Don't forget to go
definitely.
get your free slice of pizza too. Of course, they missed the 2 free throws, so hold on to
Thanks
your
to
ticket stub and
Sophie,
go get
that
that
I think
pizza.
made it a little
Yeah.
bit easier. Yeah, Sophie missed
Yep.
her 2
Thanks,
shots.
Sophie.
And thanks, Sophie. We appreciate
Yep.
that. Yeah. So assuming they win tomorrow, they go straight to the semifinals. Let me find that picture again because I believe if we win. So then it's going to be between the Seattle and the Mystics, who are playing right now for their game 1 in Seattle. We'll be playing the winner of this game, this round. Interesting thing that the Seattle and the Mystics game. Listen, I don't want to play either one of them, to be honest, but they are 4 and 5. They're your 4 and 5 slots. They were tied with the same record. Seattle overcame them because they beat them 2-1 in the regular season. So these teams are going head to head in Seattle. Again, if Seattle should lose a game, then you've got to play a third game for sure back in DC, which is going to be a tough one for, I think, both teams. You got Ella Deladon, who had been limited all year because of her previous
back,
2 years, her back surgeries, but she's ready to go for the playoffs. And that's scary because she hadn't been really playing fully because they were saving her for the playoffs, and now it's playoff time, and I think she's ready to go.
And Shakina Austin, I mean, they're rookie. Whenever she gets going, she adds to the offense as well. You can never count out Natasha Cloud, man. She's doing a great job. I don't think Natasha's got enough credit of this season of what she's doing for Washington over there. I mean, she does a great job being a floor general for that team.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and then also you've got, for sure, Sue Bird's last
series anyway.
Yeah. I mean, well, if they should win, and most likely we're winning, they're not, they'll be playing us in our house. So this is gonna be probably her last 2 games at home. If not, I guess I don't know what the 5-game structure is. That like 3-2, or is that 2-2-1? I'm
not sure what that format is, but we don't really want to play Washington either because Washington seems to have our number. They beat us.
They beat us and that's without Deladon most of the time, which is not good. Plus, we know how it is for us. I know they're chartering for the playoffs, so that's good news. We're not going to have these crazy layovers or delays or canceled flights. But still, to fly to DC and back from Vegas is not a fun time. That's a long time.
Yeah. Well, they're tied 16-16 right now in the first, so.
No Plays getting a little shout out here from your boy Curtis Coleman.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
So that game is going on right now. Earlier we saw the Sun and the Wings play. Sun, I think, blew them out by like 20 points. I mean,
93-68. The Suns won that. Of course, they're not playing. The Wings aren't playing with Erica Ogunbowale, so they expected her to possibly be back in the second round if they make it. But that's a huge miss for the Dallas Wings without her. I mean, you talk about 20 plus points that she provides that team and the leadership. So that's a tough spot for Dallas.
It's a tough spot for them. I know they were banking highly on Marbury to be playing. I know she had a great end of the season when Ogunbowale was out, but I don't think she did as great today in the playoffs. It was good to see Sabalian. She's back. She had been out on an ankle injury, I think since like July of some point. So she was back. She looked like she was in good shape. She had great points off the bench for the Wings, but again, you're playing the Connecticut Sun, and you got Bonner, you got Jones, Bonner,
Alyssa
like all these
Thomas,
girls that Alyssa
Brianna
Thomas,
Jones, Jacquel Jones. That Connecticut team is going to be tough.
Yeah, and I'm just glad we don't have to play them in the semifinals. Like, if anything, we'll see with the finals. And that's going to be good for us.
Absolutely.
Oh man, it's a whole lot. But one thing I did want to, because usually in our show we do like a sneaker edition. I'm not going to do sneaker edition, but I did find this interesting when I was looking at Sabali, is that she actually has her own Air Jordan. She got her own Jordan 37 coming out, the player edition. So, you don't see too many women with their own shoes. We saw Breanna Stewart had one for Puma. I know there was one other person, but to see her get her own one, I think that's great. I know we saw, I think Chelsea Gray had something. I don't know if those are out for sale or not, but yeah. So it's nice to see that these women are getting acknowledged and getting their own shoes, and being able to get out there. So I thought that was pretty
getting some of that endorsement money.
One show. Yeah, right? Hey, listen, sign me up for Team Jordan any day, because I could use that relief off my pockets from my sneakers.
There you go. I know you and Paul, you have that sneaker fetish bad.
Listen, it's bad. Like, I gotta start putting myself. Yeah.
You need a whole allowance for just your sneakers.
I gotta put myself on timeout at the end of some months. I just gotta be like, ooh, nah.
Between that and your beach adventures, you just need an allowance.
Listen, at least the beach. Listen, I can get to and from the beach in California for the same amount of money it costs me for a pair of sneakers, and I feel like I get more out of the beach. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It's a recharge. It's my thing. But hey, shout out to Kevin Ray, your co-host there with No Plays Off Sports Talk. Yes.
How
checking
cool is it
in.
for Asia too? Talking about endorsements, she was the first female athlete to sign to Ruffles with her new chip brand. I think that was pretty dope.
Yes, the twists. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm wishing
yeah,
they would just give some of those out during the game. Like, can you put
right.
those in the seats and so we have snacks? Like, that would be good. Come on.
Exactly,
Shout out to
exactly.
Mo. We miss you, Mo. Okay, so Mo is no longer in the sneaker hunt. She said she's
Uh oh.
taken L's, too many L's in the sneakers app, and she is like, I'm over it. I still be trying though. I still
But
be
how do you
trying.
keep up with the whole drop thing? Because it's like if you're not right there immediately when they drop on the whole Nike
I am. So
website,
here's the
man,
deal.
I'm like, I'm not doing all that.
I gotta work at 7 a.m. So I have an alarm for me to make sure that I have to clock in like within 7 minutes
Mm.
of period, whatever. So I know no matter what, right before 7, I have a phone alert and I can also see I already know what's dropping. Like you can set your alerts so that it tells you what shoe you like and when it's gonna come out. But I just listen. I just like people scroll Instagram. I'm scrolling the sneakers app and the Jordan AJ23 app, and I'm just
Oh, you got
looking
it
at what
bad.
else is
You got it
coming out.
bad.
Yeah, yeah.
You got it bad.
Do we know when the bags are hitting? Listen, I don't. I never saw that. When the
Oh, for
Asia's
the
chips
chips.
are hitting.
Yeah, I didn't. They didn't say. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And next sneakers I'm shooting for, man. I have nothing for this month. I'm waiting. I think it's until I want to say October. I can't remember which one it was. But if you check with me next week, I'll have more. I'll figure that out.
There's nothing for this
Yes.
month just yet.
Always Team Jordan. Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. I got these military Hirachis that I got in the mail.
Oh,
They
nice.
actually did. I thought they were gonna sell out. They didn't sell out. They're still out there. I got them and thank God they are because the size I got, which is my usual size. I don't own Hirachis. I don't usually wear them, but I needed like this military green color because I like camo a lot. But they're too small. I didn't realize Hirachis run smaller than usual. So
Mm.
I gotta exchange those
Size
sometime.
up. Size up.
Yes, yes. Anyway, back to WNBA. So the other thing that came out today was yesterday was the Associated Press Awards. Miss Stewie. This was from the Seattle's Post, of course. Brianna Stewart was AP Player of the Year. She also made the AP All WNBA First Team. I mean, here's the deal. It's gonna be like the MVP discussion. Like Asia, Brianna, what are we doing? So if she got the nod with the AP, does that mean she's getting a nod for MVP? I guess. When does that usually come out? Towards the end of the playoff?
They released it today. There was a schedule that they released today when they're going to be doing the awards for the rest of the season. I want to say it's towards the 28th or so is when they're going to make the announcement for the MVP.
Oh,
But
really? Okay.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if the Associated Press, of course, that's a 10 media table or discussion of people
Yeah.
who choose, but I'm not sure that I can trust the Associated Press this time around with their selections. I mean,
So
I,
I'll go down the list a little bit. We got Coach of the Year, Atlanta Dream, Tanisha Wright. I mean, I feel like what the Atlanta Dream did this year compared to last year was great. I also know that from watching, us, we kind of sit a little bit towards the visitor side bench. Seeing that team's chemistry when they're off like a time, and it's great. They have a great chemistry. That's great. They've
they were
come
scared
back
for us.
around. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I mean, I think that's great for her, but I mean, I don't think you couldn't give it away to like even Becky. I mean, Becky turned this team around too. Not saying that they weren't bad, like they
Absolutely.
were bad, but they definitely changed their complete game up and have surfaced like three, four all-stars off this team. Like I don't
I
know.
just I think Tanisha Wright did a good job turning the team around, but really still didn't have kind of say a winning season. I mean, I think there was some improvement to the team, but to say Coach of the Year, I was like shaking my head with that, and I'm like, and not that of course we love Becky for because she's
Yeah.
our coach, but what she's doing with the Aces team, they won like 13 games straight to the beginning of the season. They've been rolling lately. I'm like, how can you ignore that? I don't know how many votes she did or didn't get beyond
And you
Tanisha
turned
Wright, but
Asia into a forward, into a center, pretty much. Like, I
yes.
mean, you're making changes. I just, yeah. Man, listen.
Yeah,
But hey, got comeback player of the year, Alyssa Thomas,
I like
Connecticut. I
that.
think that's a good one. I think that's valid. I think she's, she's been doing it. At first, when I first was seeing her this season, I was seeing the numbers. I was like, wait, this ain't the same Alyssa Thomas that we've seen in previous seasons. Like,
Yeah,
I had no idea, but it is. And she's done an excellent job, and she's really helped those Connecticut Sun, cover bases too, because they've had a couple injuries throughout the season there, and she's
yeah,
been able to really support that team. So that's a good one. Most improved player of the year, Jackie Young. I'm pretty sure we
I
can
like
all
that.
get down with that one.
Yeah,
Great, great choice. Defensive player of the year, Asia Wilson. I'm
of
with it. I
course.
mean, she's all around with us, I think. But yeah, she's been extreme on the defense too. Rookie of the year, Ryan Howard. I don't
I
see an
agree.
argument there. And then sixth one of the year, Brianna Jones, Connecticut. So,
I can
I
agree.
mean,
I can
there's
agree.
a couple, I think you could think of those back and forth, maybe the sixth woman you could think of it, but unfortunately Derek Hamby was starting for us most of the time, and then she got injured as she took the sixth woman role again, and we know she's won 2 previously. But yeah, I think that's a fair shot for her. Kevin
Yeah, of
said
course. But
coach with James Wade.
I like James Wade. James Wade, we were making jokes about him at the last game. James Wade, he like needs, he's always like upset. He was so upset the last game. He was like, "You're going to just give them the game. Let's just pack our shit up and go." I'm like, James Wade, like, he has no filter.
He be mad.
He be mad bad.
You be seeing him kind of just shuffling around the sideline, just like moving
He
around, doesn't sit
mad.
still. Yeah.
We were all like with our phones, like, hurry up. What is he gonna say now? But I mean, he with a lot of passion. So I mean, you gotta respect that. But he's a show to watch for sure.
Yeah. Andrea said, just so animated and love it. Yeah, listen, very
Absolutely.
animated. So we also got the WNBA first and second teams. The first team, of course, Stewart, Wilson, Plum, Ionescu, and why did I put Plum twice? Who am I missing? Stewart, Wilson, Plum,
Stuart
Ionescu,
Wilson,
and
Candace Parker.
Candace Parker, that's right. So, and Candace, which I think is all valid. I think we could all agree especially after Ionescu's performances his last few, like 3-4 weeks, she's been putting on shows, breaking more records. Listen, by the time this girl becomes Sue Bird's age, she's going to have every record out there. It seems like she is already breaking crazy records. And this is only like her, like real second year, basically playing in the
As long as she stays healthy. Yes.
Yes, that part.
Yes.
That part. Second team, Jonquil Jones, Nneka Agumake, Alyssa Thomas, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Courtney Vandersloot. This is where I have some issues in the second team. I feel like there could be a Jackie Young or a Chelsea Gray in there. I'm not trying to be biased, but Skylar's had some great games, but
not
season
long.
Enough.
Yeah, not for an entire stretch of the season. I don't agree with that one.
Right. And Courtney Vandersloot is a great point guard, but
she doesn't put up numbers to support that.
I don't see her highlights on ESPN. I don't see her highlights on the WNBA page. Like, I don't see her highlights. So I'm wondering, so
another one, she doesn't put up consistent numbers. Great leader, great point guard, great passer, but to say
floor general, whatever, yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But her numbers don't support to say that when you have other individuals like a Chelsea Gray or a Jackie Young who numbers speak to that. It's like,
yeah.
Wait a minute.
So I had a question for you on this next one because I was curious, but I know you know a lot more of our Vegas talent that come out of Vegas. So the all rookie team was Ryan Howard, Shakira Austin, who I know I love watching her for the Mystics, except when she plays us. Rebecca Gardner for the Sky, and Alyssa Smith for the Fever, and then Sam Thomas for Mercury. I think we've all kind of seen that post that's been going around on like the Score and a couple other big news articles. Which I hate because then you get all the WNBA
The
haters,
negativity.
women can't watch basketball, blah, 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 blah. But this is what I didn't, and I looked into her and these are her stats. Sam Thomas averaged 4.9 minutes a game and averaged 0.4 points. She didn't even have a point average for the
No,
season, but she's on the all rookie team.
I don't understand that one. I mean, yes, I root for Sam because she's Las Vegas native, graduate of
Yeah.
Centennial High School, that powerhouse school, great career she had at University of Arizona. But when you talk about an all rookie team for a player who doesn't even average 5 minutes a game, what are you talking
And
about here? Like,
and I even went so far as to start scrolling through like the multiple, like, maybe when like Darasi and Diane and Skylar have been out, that there's been maybe some more playing time for her. And I think the most she even had was like 11 minutes one game and still with like 2 points or 1 point. And it just makes me sit there and be kind of like, well, and not to keep toting these aces, but I'm going to keep toting these aces.
yeah, yeah,
We got some rookies that definitely play more or get more than 0.4 points a game. And I just
yeah.
don't understand. I don't know. I guess maybe it's just me. I know it's not just me, but I feel like, so, I
No,
mean, like,
you just got to make it make sense. So when you talk about it,
like Alicia Shepard, like I know she's had more minutes and probably had higher than 0.4 points a game average.
even
You know what
Destiny
I
Henderson
mean?
for Indiana, prior to her getting hurt, she's been
Yeah.
hurt lately, but I mean, she was getting solid minutes and she was averaging, I want to say, like 8 or 10 points a game, which is more than what Sam Thomas is producing. So I didn't quite understand that one. And I know people were saying, well, what were the rookies that were out there? But I just don't. Even the rookie that came from Stanford that plays for the sister, I forget her name, but she's the shooter,
Oh,
tall,
yeah,
drawing a
shoot.
blank. She wears the headband. I see her right here in the visual. But even her, I mean, she got more minutes. She was in the consistent rotation, and she would put up numbers. So
Yeah.
that one left me scratching my head. But I mean, like I said,
I mean,
kudos to her.
kudos to
She's a
her, but
homegirl.
yeah, that's why I was like, did I miss something? Was there like a game she went off and I'm just not seeing it? Like, so yeah, that was a little interesting to me. But I guess the other twist to that too is we see these ladies, the rookies, all getting drafted. Yeah, I know we had one, if not two, that we're letting go and that aren't getting
Yeah.
picked up. And so is that kind of showing that, yeah, well, there's a lot of the rookies that got drafted, but they're not playing because teams are full. That we still got vets that ain't leaving, and we don't got enough spaces. We don't got enough slots for these players to play in. And then you're left with only having like 8 players to choose from, possibly. And so you just got to roll with it.
And I think
I
it
hope,
worked out for Sam Thomas. She was given the Phoenix Mercury just was a better location for her, a better situation for her. I mean, she had a great training camp with them. She was coming all her. They were all crowding her for her defensive effort. I just think
yeah.
she got placed in a great situation. I'm not sure if she would have made a roster had she been on a different training
Okay.
camp team.
Right.
I just think it worked out
It
for her
worked
with
well
this
there.
team.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Well, and to credit to the Phoenix Mercury, like I said, they've been dealing with I mean, to know that Vanessa got put into this as a first year coach, thinking, man, I'm going to be coaching Griner and all
yeah.
these. They had like the not even big three, it was like a big four that was start of
Yep.
the season, and then to all this unfold and untangle, and then
As
you're
a first
curious
year
to know, like,
coach.
and you're dealing with the large attitudes or the large personas of some of these people, and then not even in the fights that are behind doors, you got fights in front of everybody that you're now having to
Yeah.
deal with. So
Yeah. And
um
it's just it has to be. I mean, it has to be a line. Like I said, when you talk about the whole Brittany Griner thing, it becomes bigger than basketball and that sisterhood of what they're created. And we talk about yesterday. It seemed like Asia Wilson was kind of struggling, shooting wise, but she's been very vocal in regards to how it was going to be very emotional for her,
yeah,
to
very
play
much.
with
Yeah.
thinking of Brittany Griner on the minds of her mindset and Brittany Griner not being there. So I'm kind of thinking was some of that mentally, in the back of her mind that she wasn't all the way tapped in because it was a rough night for Asia last night.
Yeah. Yeah. It it's a tough one. I mean, I don't know how For a lot of these players, like Skylar had said, though, that's our sister. It's not like that's just someone we were watching. Like that's our family, and we have to deal
Right.
with how. Like, what if your family was in that position right now? How would you feel? Would you want to go to work the next day? Would you want to go do these things the next day? No, I probably wouldn't. If my brother or my my family member was out there, I would probably be like, I'm out. I'm going to Russia. I'm camping
Yeah,
out in a hotel for the next 9 months or whatever. Like, that's tough. That's tough.
it's tough.
Shout out to
It's tough.
Quan. We did not
Bye.
fire Mo.
Leave it to Quan. Leave it to Quan.
Always with the comedy. Always with the
Yeah,
comedy.
yeah. But get positive note for WNBA though. Viewership has been up 16%. Viewership
Yes.
wise, so WNBA is moving in a positive direction. Whenever they send out these press releases, it kind of tickles me because everyone wants to put the narrative of no one watches the WNBA.
Right. Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
yes they
So
are.
they're up 16% in the viewership. They've also got high, like they've increased in social media engagement because of people like us as well, of course.
Of course.
WNBA League Pass sales have increased, merchandise sales have increased, and then of course there was a post we put in the group too that there was an average of 372,000 viewers, which is a 19% increase since last season. So no matter what you say, oh, women don't, it's because the women don't support it. I listen, there's as many women that don't support women's basketball as there are men who don't like sports. There's plenty of men out
Absolutely.
there that don't watch sports at all. They'd rather do something. And even, I mean, but it's just funny to me when you get all these negative men that I'm like, I always laugh at the WNBA comments when they're in the comment section. Like, why do I keep getting these up? Why are you following the WNBA if you don't want to watch it or you want to be critical or keep talking about it?
Yes.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Like,
If you
get off
don't
the
like
pot.
it, don't. I just I don't know, but it's great to see. We've had all kind of celebrities, coming to watch the Aces lately.
Man.
Sharif O'Neal of the G League Ignite, their
Yep.
coaching staff, and a
His
lot of their players
teammates.
were
Yeah.
there last night. That was good. They all had on their WNBA shirts. I think that's
That
dope,
was
and I think
dope.
that also is going to bring more awareness and also help move the league forward.
Heck yeah. And it's not even just the NBA guys anymore that are there anymore. I mean, we saw Tom Brady there. My girl almost died. Like, that is her
Yeah,
numero uno. And
yeah,
she, held it together long enough to see, it was crazy. Like, you're like, whoa, Tom Brady's here? No way. So it's
yeah.
making moves. And you're seeing, our governors coming. Of course, we see Mark Davis. Mark Davis skipped his preseason game for the
I
first
saw
half
that.
and was at our Aces game along with Darren Waller, just kicking back for the entire game on Sunday. And then I'm assuming had some maybe underground tunnel that got built between Mandalay Bay and Allegiant Stadium to
Because he
get
was
over
out.
there. He was out.
He
He
was
was out.
out. Yeah.
Out with the quickness. Out with the
But
quickness.
have you watched Mark Davis? Like, he's not just there supporting
He's
because
in it.
he's engaged. He's up. He's cheering. He's shaking his head. Like, he's totally engaged in the game. I love to see it.
Yes. And when he was sitting in the little Gucci row with Governor Sisolak and Darren Waller, they all three of them, like in unison, were getting up and cheering
Yeah,
and like throwing up threes. And I'm just like, wow, like that's the kind of city that you want to have your your
absolutely.
your league in. And so I think it's amazing. Before we leave off, because it is still, and this is the first, I'm going to say this right now. And I never thought I would probably ever say this in the 4 years I've been watching the WNBA. I haven't always been a WNBA fan, so I understand that people don't always like it. But once you find that team or that player that gets you into it, you're locked. For me, of course, it was Kelsey Plum. She came from UW. I always watched UW's women's basketball no matter what. And when she got out and went to the Stars, and then the Stars came here, I'm like, done. I got a team. Like, this is it. Granted, I lived in Seattle for the entire time, or not lived. I'm from Seattle, so I was in the area of the store most of my life. I just never. I didn't really. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, I wasn't. I was bigger on football, no matter what. It wasn't just about the NBA or WNBA. It was just NFL, really. So it's the first time I can say this. I'm happier now watching a WNBA game than I am watching preseason NFL because not only does my team stink, but it really just I find I'm more engaged with it now. Preseason is like, okay, yeah, I'll start worrying when week 1 comes along. But these games are intense for the WNBA. They're
Yes,
meaningful. And I've been saying this for like 2 or 3 years now. Like, if the women are the first team to bring a championship trophy to the Las Vegas Strip, That's going to be incredible.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope. That's gonna be nice. So you said you weren't really a fan before. Were you like into the game, like knowing the rules and knowing
I mean, I played
how it
basketball growing up,
okay,
so I
okay.
knew rules and I knew
Right.
basketball. I played basketball and softball. I mean, I wasn't like no D1 athlete or nothing, but I played growing up into high school.
Okay.
I think I got into I was in the NBA. I loved the NBA a lot when I was younger, and then at some point around college, I took a turn and went more to like football and Husky football and Seahawks football, and just never really got into the Storm. And then I moved to Vegas, and then I just kind of forgot about the Storm and the WNBA. Kind of like it was just, I think I watched it when it first came out, and you had those first couple of seasons where it was pretty intense, but after that, I kind of, it dropped off. I dropped off, but when the Aces came here, just like the Golden Knights, they made me a fan.
Yeah,
If the team makes
of
me a fan,
course.
they're mine to stay. So I
Yeah.
can't claim all Seattle sports. There's a few that are here in Vegas that I are definitely my favorites, and I'll keep it that way. But your Steelers, my Seahawks,
Yes,
had a
yes.
game last week.
We gotta win. I know, a lot of people say it's preseason. Preseasons
You
don't
gotta
win, but
win.
listen, we'll take it all. My Steelers, we are in a rebuilding phase, and
Tell me
we
about
did
it.
get the win. What was it, 32-25 or
32,
something?
yeah. I mean, you did score in the last like 3 seconds, so it wasn't, but you got the win,
We did.
Hey, what as far as the quarterback situation for you guys, how are you feel? I feel like
Oh,
you're like
Mike.
us, like which of the three-headed monster are we going to choose today? And
So they've been going back and forth with this 3-man rotation of their quarterbacks, and Mike Tomlin came out today and said Mike Trubisky is going to be the expected starter this week versus Jacksonville. So we'll see how that goes. Mason Rudolph
wow,
is going to be the third quarterback, so I'm okay with that. But
third, huh?
yeah, third. He's all the way down to third. So I
Dang, he
mean,
got demoted.
yeah, he got. They said they want to see some more snaps from Pickett and see how he does. Of course, he had the
Right.
game-winning drive against you guys, but
Yeah.
I mean, out of the three, I think you have to go with Trubisky. Unfortunately, I
More
mean,
experience.
he's a
Yeah.
veteran quarterback. He's more
Yeah.
experience. We had a tough injury happen for us today too. So there's been a lot of injuries, preseason wise
We've
with the
had
team.
listen. Well, so to our game last week, people know I'm not a big fan of Geno Smith. I never have been. He's been warming that bench for 3 to 4 years now, and now that Russell's gone, all of a sudden, like, oh well, Geno knows the plays. Geno's been here. Yeah, but he's not consistent, and he's just not he's not working. He already lost a couple, like, really tight games for us, close to playoffs last year. When Russell was injured, but we also have Drew Lock, who I don't think is a terrible quarterback. And here's the
No.
Seattle's used to having a 5'10" quarterback and having to scramble. Drew Lock is like 6'3", 6'4", and can pass and shoot. So I'm just like, he played way better than Geno during the game versus you guys. He had 2 touchdowns, but of course he was named on Tuesday the starter for today's Chicago Bears game, and then catches COVID.
Oh, that sucks. COVID is still
So
out
guess
there.
what? Geno Smith back in the game for 2
Your boy's
quarters.
back. Well, that's probably why you guys are down 17
Well,
to
he played the
0.
first half. The second half, I think they finally are giving Jacob Eason, a former Husky quarterback. He's another tall. He was a great quarterback for UW. However, his NFL career has been pretty blismal. But he is, I mean, if he could show just some talent, I think we want. And I turned on the game earlier today, and there was a guy with a sign that said, "We need Jimmy G now."
What happens with Jimmy G? I mean, there's some teams that can use him.
Liz.
What's going to happen with him? The whole Deshaun Watson thing and how that's turning out, and what happens to Jimmy? Where does he end up landing ultimately?
uh he's gonna have to find. Listen, if it gets bad here, I don't mind him coming to Seattle. Like I don't know. I need to know how much he's costing. I need to, because we don't really have that kind of money. We got to start
Right?
saving some money for making moves next year, because hopefully we're getting some play. Hey, Kevin, at least we got 3 points, right? It was
What is it,
17 to
27-3
nothing.
now? Oh, ouch. Ouch. Oh,
I will say
Kev's a big
this.
Bear fan.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's a
like
huge Bears
he's
fan.
enjoying this one. Probably the one he's gonna enjoy. I mean, We got a lot of starters out. We had an injury to our guard today, which was no bueno. He got carted off. So I'm just,
Jeez.
all you can do is plan for the worst or hope for the best, plan for the worst at this point. Like, can just be healthy for game 1 against Russell. Like, somebody sack the crap out of him and let's just keep going.
Is that a love-hate relationship between you and Russ?
Oh, I'm done. Me and Russ are over.
You're over it, huh?
Listen, I got his signature on my jersey during the Pro Bowl, and I'm done. I'm going to frame that sucker, and that's the end of our relationship. We are officially over.
It's going to be so different seeing him in a Denver Bronco jersey, man. That's going to be, that's going to be so different to get used to.
There was a picture of him and Sierra and the kids in their Broncos,
I saw that.
fandom colors, and all the kids were like, just like had the ugliest faces, and I was like, yeah, I wouldn't do that either. I know that Broncos colors is terrible,
Was that the picture he got a lot of slack? They were saying, why is he wearing his own jersey?
No, that was the one he was by himself with the car.
Okay.
He was outside of his huge. That was the other issue, is that I don't mind him wearing his own jersey, but from what I gathered from people in the Denver area is that he has that huge mega gas guzzling car he was standing in front of. And him and Sierra had just opened up some like very clean resource store that was, good for the environment and good for the Mother Earth. And yet you're rolling around in this probably like 2 mile a gallon truck. But hey, what can you do? Anyways.
Interesting.
Miss Ballin D, I so appreciate you joining us and taking time out today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And we're going to have you on again. I know it's been forever. We see you all the time, so it just feels like we see each other, but then we don't really actually get to sit down and chat. So you guys, if you are or you're not following, make sure you follow Mr. Ballin D and the No Plays Off Sports Talk podcast on all social media. You can see them live on Wednesdays, 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, right before our show at 7. So make sure, take a couple hours, leave your phone on and just listen to some sports talk. Enjoy it. Make sure you check them out as well. Shout out to her co-host, Kevin Ray. And that's been a good show. Hopefully, if you guys are out there, if you're in Vegas, if you're visiting Vegas this weekend, please come out, see the Aces for game 2, check them out, and let's send them off into the semifinals with a great audience. But until then, I appreciate you again, and we'll catch y'all next. Mo will be here next Wednesday, so Quan, you can come chat with Mo then. All right.
Thanks, girls. We'll see you tomorrow, or see you Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. Bye.
Bye.